Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be blending in fender flares on the van. Now, right now all I'm doing is just mocking everything up. You know, you just go through with some self-tappers, get these exactly where you want them. And also we're working on the roll pan. And as you might have seen, I had to cut these because I'm not really a patient person. I really didn't want to wait for ones to be made for a G10. But Kirk happened to have a G20 laying around. I said, I'll take it. So as you can see, I'm just kind of blending in. You can see the line. I'm getting ready to fiberglass this in. Pretty much for a G20, you want to take off 8.5 inches, and fits pretty well. So I'm gonna get this fiberglassed in, and then we're gonna attach it to the van tomorrow. I'll show you where we're at, and then we're gonna do the fronts. But not today because it's late. Yay! It's sunlight. So here we are next day. You can see we got the G20 converted to a G10. She's all fiberglassed in. You know, I'll show you. See? She's strong. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Yeah, we're good. So we're going to mock this up. And we're just going to use self-tappers for right now. And I'll show you where we end up. Basically, it's just kind of putting it in a place where you're happy with it. So, I'm not going to record it. So now that we got the rear flares on, here's how I'm doing my roll pan. Now, I just threw a jack underneath to support it here. I have one self-tapper in here. As you can see, hopefully, we're lined up pretty good. Now, we're going to be blending all this in. I don't like the separation lines or anything. And, you know, we're pretty close up here. I could have went probably 1/8 of an inch longer, but no big deal. This hole here, I'm not going to be using that because... probably saw in a previous video that we have the 67 Camaro bumper, which is pretty thin, and it may or may not cover that, but I'm just going to weld a plate in there, and I'm going to be having a lot of mud back here anyway. So when you get to this point, underneath here you'll see I got a clamp. Hopefully you'll see I got a clamp. And you can't, there's just not enough room the way this is formed. You can't screw up into the lower corner here. So, between these two panels, which is why I molded this piece back in, I'm just going to do like 2 1/4 inch nuts and bolts right through the rear of the rear flare to hold that in place. And I'm going to get both sides set. And then we're going to go through and we're going to kind of center this up because we got play here still. But I want to get both sides on, connect in the middle, and try to get that as straight as possible. So I'm gonna get to it. All right, so now we have the nuts and bolts from the roll pan connected to the back of the flare, just with 2 1/4 inch, and it did suck this in really nicely. So I don't remember if I said or not, the disadvantage to this roll pan and the way I'm gonna blend it in, it's going to be a real pain in the ass to get the gas tank off if I ever have to. But it is possible. You can reach up and you can take the bolts out, and then this whole gas tank can just drop down in the front of it and you'll be able to slide it out. Is it easy? No, but this is custom shit we're doing here, so we don't really care about easy or hard. We just want it to look cool. So let me get the other side going. All right, we got this one in. It is absolutely flush. I think I did this side before I started drinking. So, looking at the back of the van, and oh man, it's all over the place. It looks like ass. But it's supposed to look like ass. It's the ass of the van. So now I take the clamps off, and I'm probably going to take these self-tappers out that are holding it, and I'm just going to kind of center her up until I'm happy. So when I go to blend this, I'm just going to be pulling out, like you can see I had it centered at one point. I thought it's really not there, but when I go to blend this in, I am going to be putting Gorilla Hair behind it and screwing it back in, and then Gorilla Hair over the whole thing. So I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes getting this sorted out and see where we end up. All right, here's where we ended up. We went through. Obviously, I got a little bit of metal work to do right there because I'm probably not supposed to be able to do that. But it's all lined up, nice, perfectly flush. It's flush this way, so I'll be able to just skim over it with some gorilla hair or kitty hair. I got it straight-ish. I'm happy with it. So usually what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll pull a screw, I'll glass a section, and then put the screw in, and then I'll take the screw out, and then I'll just fix the screw hole. So I'll do this all. I might be doing this off the van as far as this seam goes. I'm thinking it's gonna be really hard to get the back side of this. I mean, I'll figure something out, but obviously these aren't going to be here. These are just holding it in place because this is exactly where it ends up. I probably could have lifted this a hair more to get this line a little straighter, but like I said, I'm blending it. It's not going to matter. So yeah, overall this side came in really nice. Technically I could blend the back fenders in right now, but I'm gonna jump over to the front, and I just want to get this thing all mocked up and see how it looks. Front's gonna be a little bit of a bitch by myself, but that's what clamps are for. So basically we are just gonna clamp everything in place. We're gonna do a little similar to the back, where we're gonna be nutting and bolting these together. I'm undecided if I'm going to blend this in. It's recommended not to, just in case you break this piece off. But I think it's going to be worth it. You know, especially since I'm close enough to custom van. If I have to go order new front flares and a piece, I can just go pick it up. You know, for someone else it's further away and they got to ship it, different story. So I'm going to clamp this, clamp the other side, clamp this up, and see where we end up. Alright, so if no one's around, I recommend grabbing some ratchet straps just to kind of hold this up into place. It's a must. So for installing these front flares, you pretty much want to start with the air dam, and everything's going to work off of that. So you can see we got this pretty tight already. We're going to be able to pull this up into place, and we're going to nut and bolt that straight, and then we're just going to kind of work our way back. So we're just going in a center motion, up and down the sides. Remember, this is just mock-up. We're not bonding anything. We're just going to self-tap stuff. But we're going to start nut and bolt here, nut and bolt on the other side. Well, two. And make sure she's all centered, which I think she is, pretty much. Let's see, this fits in here pretty well. Well, slide over. So, yeah, I'm going to have to pull this down a little bit. But once I get everything nut and bolted, hopefully it'll fall into place. Find out in 10 minutes. Alright, just to show you what I'm doing. I am clamping these two pieces together. I am mostly worried about this line being straight on the sides. So, you can see you are going to have a gap here. And this gap we'll be able to get rid of once we bolt this in. We'll be able to lower this down. The ratchet straps are just kind of holding it at a little angle. Main thing I'm trying to do is just meet these two pieces together. And right now I'm only doing one nut and bolt per side. You can see I did this side. It's in. A little bit of gap. I can still tighten that more. But I'm going to do one nut and bolt. Then I'm going to go back and put a second one on each side. And get everything lined up perfectly. And then I'm going to throw some screws straight up into here. From underneath. So we'll see how it goes. So far it's going pretty good. Alright, as you can see, we are all mocked up now. You know, for a 40-year-old van, you know, she came out alright. I mean, she has been in an accident before. You know, you could tell this whole front clip was replaced. And the other side was a little bit wonky, but overall, the fit's good. Can't complain about that. You know, the way this ended up falling, I did have to do a little shimming down here. About a ½ inch. But it's solid. It ain't going nowhere. You can see the whole van's moving. So now that she's all mocked up, we can take her off. And we're going to be continuing this video in who knows when. I figure there's no sense in me leaving these on or bonding them on at this point, because I still have welding and stuff to do. I don't want to screw up the fiberglass. So we're going to yank these, throw them down in the basement, get some body work done, get some primer on her, and that's when you'll see this video again. Lay down. Lay down. Roll over. Sit. Paw. Other paw. Lay down. Roll over. Good catch.